seguir hasta 2.300.000 jóvenes, porque lo que queremos es garantizar el derecho de los jóvenes al estudio. Ya nos dicen
Okay, yes, it's working, finally. I had to go to my old resource.
Andrés Manuel López Obrador.
Okay. So the president is out in Guaymas Sonora. And apparently there's other videos playing in the background. I've got to try and silence that. So let me silence this. There we go.
De los pueblos Yaqui. ¿Qué fue lo que convenimos? Iniciar una etapa nueva para hacer realidad la justicia.
Okay.
Como lo comentó.
So I'm sorry, I'm working on fixing everything. Something's going on weird with my settings. Don't know quite what. But the good news is, apparently I can chat now. I don't know how this is going to work, but apparently I can. Okay, so we've got 2 programs running there. Okay.
Son una cultura milenaria.
All right.
Y solo
it's working. Looks like I can put it
un poco
right
más
next to it.
Lo acontecido en un siglo.
Okay.
Hablamos de el porfiriato, de cuando se cometió esa gran injusticia, esa infamia.
So he says they're talking about the time of Porfirio, where they did this big injustice of declaring war against the Yaquis during that Porfirio Diaz period in order to take away their land. And I have just received Paco Ignacio Otaibo, a great writer, his book
sobre esa infamia que se cometió,
regarding that infamous thing that was committed
la dictadura de Porfirio Díaz,
during the dictatorship of Porfirio Díaz,
de cómo por quitarle la tierra, las aguas,
of how, in order to take away their land and their water,
a los pueblos yaquis,
he took the Yaqui people,
hubo una guerra de exterminio,
and there was an extermination war.
Y por si fuese poco,
and if that weren't bad enough,
a muchos se les deportó
many of them were deported to the southeast to work as slaves in the haciendas of caña and tobacco in Veracruz, the National Valley of Oaxaca, and in Yucatan. That was a time that embarrasses us in Mexico, all of us. At another time was when the revolution triumphed, and some governor, some president, a good one, a patriot, restituted the lands to the Yaqui people. He was the general Lázaro Cárdenas del Río. That was another moment. Because during that revolution, participation was
muchos yaquis
by many Yaquis.
fueron integrantes de las tropas revolucionarias
And they were integrators of the troops
de triunfo.
internationally. And they
Y había
triumphed.
pasado ya un tiempo
And then some time had passed,
y no se hacía justicia.
and justice was
La
not
verdad
made.
que el que llega para dar respuesta a las necesidades del pueblo,
And those who
para
went to give response to the
atender
people
las demandas
in order to attend to the
del
demands
pueblo
of the
que
people
fuera la revolución
that went to the revolution
y que se sacrificó porque
and
hubieron
that sacrificed because
alrededor de 1 millón
there was about 1 million
de mexicanos que perdieron la vida.
Mexicans that lost their lives.
Pero pasó
But time
el
passed,
tiempo, pasaban los presidentes
and then the presidents kept passing, and no justice was done. And then when General Cárdenas came in from 34 to 40, and he restituted the lands. And when there is justice, I was commenting a while ago that about 6 years, the general returned 18 million hectares to 1 million people that were working in that time. But not only did he do that, but he was also the one that recovered the petroleum that Porfirio Díaz had given to the foreigners. And he supported the workers. And he supported education. He was the creator of the Institute for the Indigenous internationally. Well, that was the second phase. And the third phase, the one where we're living now. And we all want to revindicate the Yaqui people. And I've mentioned that now as president of Mexico, I sent a letter to the with the church and the Spaniards, because in September of 2021, because we are going to commemorate 200 years since the independence. And the purpose is that during that time, they offer with humility ask forgiveness for the original people that were made victims of the repression during the conquering and the colonization, and victims also of the imposition of cultures that were foreign to the original cultures. And they did not understand well. They thought that it was like I was claiming something or putting, that I was asking too much. When I was simply asking for them to ask for forgiveness so that we could hug each other and reconcile and to think towards the future. And that was the planning that I had when I wrote those letters to the king and the Papa, the Pope, that we, on the year 2021, we were going to ask for forgiveness to the people also for the atrocities that were committed by the authorities of our country, but that in the name of the Mexican people and the government of Mexico, I was also going to ask for forgiveness
entre otros grupos
amongst other
a
groups
los pueblos yaquis
to the Yaqui people
y también
and
a
also
la población
to the population, to the populace,
china
to the Chinese
que fue reprimida,
that was
masacrada
repressed and massacred
por discriminación,
due
por
to
racismo,
discrimination, due to racism,
actos
acts
deleznables.
that were detestable, that are embarrassing.
Entonces,
And then
les decía yo a los
I said
gobernadores
to the governors
de los pueblos
of
yaquis
the Yaqui people
que de todas maneras
that
vamos
in
a
any
llevar a
case
cabo
we're going to take
esos actos
these
de
acts
septiembre del 21, pero que no
we're going to take
quiero
them into effect, but that
que nos quedemos nada más
I don't want us to just
en pedir perdón,
ask for
en
forgiveness
ofrecer disculpas.
or to offer to ask for forgiveness,
Lo hago
because I will do that
con humildad.
with
Siempre he
humility.
pensado que el poder
And I've
es
thought
humildad.
that power is humility.
Me hincaría
And I would
de
even
los
kneel
representantes
before the representatives
de los pueblos
of the
indígenas yaquis.
indigenous people,
Como
the
me
Yaquis,
hinco
the way
donde
I
se hinca el
kneel,
pueblo.
where the people kneel.
Pero
However,
no,
no,
es eso.
it's not that.
Solamente.
It's not just that.
Es que podamos
It's that we should be able to,
al mismo tiempo
at the same time,
convertir
convert
el 2021 en
2021
el acto de la justicia,
in the act of
en el
justice,
año de la justicia,
in the year of justice,
y que ya empecemos desde ahora.
and that we begin as of
Y le
now.
pedí
And I
a
asked
Delfo Regino que nos represente,
uh,
que se ponga de acuerdo con los gobernantes de los pueblos
for them to come in agreement with the people, the Yaquis, in order to start to work on a plan
de justicia
of justice
para los pueblos yaquis,
for the Yaqui people,
como lo propusieron,
the way they proposed it,
tratando tres temas:
dealing with three principal matters:
la tierra,
the land,
el agua
the water,
y el desarrollo
and the
en
development
los pueblos.
in the towns.
Un plan
One plan
para ese propósito,
for that purpose
que en septiembre del 21
is that in
podamos
September of 21 we would be able to
ofrecemos
say
disculpas,
we offer our forgiveness, but in addition
que está avanzando
we are also advancing in the
para
plan
reivindicar
to revindicate
a los pueblos yaquis.
the Yaqui people.
Vamos a empezar
And we're going to start
lo más pronto posible.
as soon as possible.
Desde luego siempre
And of
tomando en
course,
cuenta la opinión
Always
de las comunidades,
taking into account the
de las
opinion
autoridades
of the
tradicionales.
communities, of the
Y
authorities of the
con el
communities,
apoyo
and with the
de
support
los dirigentes
of the
de los
directors
pueblos
of the
yaquis,
Yaqui people,
que son muy
because they are very
inteligentes.
intelligent.
Estuve escuchando
I
sus
was
planteamientos.
listening to their plans and ideas,
Con todo respeto, ya
but
quisiera
with all respect, they wish they could. These anthropologists, sociologists, economists, politicers, and the historians
tan inteligentes
wish
como
they
los
could be
dirigentes de
as
los pueblos
intelligent
yaquis.
as the directors of the people of the Yaquis, directors.
Es hasta para decirles
It's even
algunos presumidos
you
que se
like
creen
you should
mucho,
say to some people that think they're so haughty. He says, "Get over here and learn."
Bueno,
Well,
ese fue el acuerdo.
that was the agreement in general.
Pero
However,
ustedes están aquí
you are
y
here,
algunos vienen
and some of you come
de Cajeme y de
from
Guaymas,
Cajeme and Guaymas
Empalme
and Empalme,
y hasta de Hermosillo.
and even from
Y
Hermosillo.
me da mucho gusto
And I get very happy to tell you that and inform you that we're doing well because it's begun the fourth transformation of a public life of our country. And so what does it consist of? This transformation basically of not permitting corruption. To unearth corruption. We are going to end corruption. Me canso ganso. And somebody told me that said it will come to be as I said. And for that reason, we are going to account with sufficient budget. Because it was a great bleeding. There was so much money going through the canes of corruption. Lots and lots of money. More than we can imagine. And that is why, if corruption ends, from the top to the bottom, we are going to liberate many funds for the development. And we won't have to raise taxes, and we won't have to raise gas prices or increase the debt. Only ending all at once corruption. And also saving by not making a government that's luxurious, a government that wastes the budget. Presidente Juárez, the best president that's been in Mexico was from that the people needed to learn how to live in the just median, that there should not be a rich government with people that are poor or impoverished public. And that is what we are doing. Now, we don't have these elevated salaries like 200,000 a month. That's ended. Now there is a law where no one can earn more than what the president earns. And I lowered my salary to less than half of what the President Peña Nieto earned without compensations. And from there down. Why did we lower the salaries of the ones above? Because we're raising the salaries of the ones on the bottom. Laboral justice. Yes, now. There is no presidential airplane. It is forgiven for the functioning official of the federal people to go in airplanes and helicopters or to transport themselves. See, if I came in an airplane, how would I find out the condition of the roads if I had not driven here? I'm going to continue traveling the land as always via roads. And besides, it's not difficult for me. I'm accustomed to it. That's my forte, is traveling by land. And we save money because the presidential airplane is already for sale in California. And we are going to get from there some resources. Because from there, we also are selling 75 helicopters and airplanes that were being utilized. Just to go shopping or for diversions, that is not going to be permitted. They are forbidden, all these luxuries. For the presidential group. They always, for many years, had this elite group that protected the president. There was 8,000 people assigned to the care of the president. And not even Donald Trump has so many bodyguards. So we canceled that whole team of protection. And so we moved them to the National Guard to take care of the people. And the president is guarded by the people. They take care of him. And that one that struggles for justice has nothing to fear. And in this way, we save money. And also, we no longer have pensions for the higher officials, for the ex-presidents, because they're angry, but it'll pass. Because they used to give themselves $5 million in pesos in salaries for the retired presidents. And so now these funds are being dispensed for better, for the elderly adults. They're getting their pension. 8 million of older adults in the country, whether they're rich or poor, because it's for everyone. So even if they have resources, they've already worked and they've given their part to the government. So now they can have extra money for the last days of their lives. And these respectable elderly people. There's not 1,600, 2,550 universally. And in the case, if the indigenous people, they get it from the age of 65, all of them. And also I can tell you that indigenous towns of Mexico, all the children, all the people with that are disabled, they get a pension because it's their right, just like the elderly. 2,000 bimenstrual for all of them, for all the children with disabilities, and like never before, 11 million grants for students, for preschoolers, primary, high school, preparatory, and the students of families of little, they get 2,400 a month, and grants, and for the youth that don't study and they don't have a job, we're contracting them. They're the ones that are in the programs, youth creating the future. There is apprentices, there is business, commerce, automotive shops. There's what did he say? 900,000 that are getting, I think he said 3,500 a month, up to, they're going to reach 2,200,000 people is their goal, because they want them to dedicate themselves to studying and to work, because we want them to be guaranteed jobs and education, so they will not be induced to take the antisocial conduct or delinquency. We want to see the youth. We want them to have hope in that they will get ahead without falling into the activities of criminal actions. And we're going to start a campaign, a very strong campaign directed at the youth to advise them of the risk and the suffering it means, these addictions to drugs. Because the only thing that we see now regarding that matter is a world that looks beautiful, a world that they paint in the series of television where the ones that devote themselves to those activities, live in mansions. They use uh, clothes with trademarks, and they have beautiful hair, beautiful men and women, as if though that were paradise. And now we are going to let them know via radio, via newspaper, via series, the other face of the coin. Because everyone that gets involved with that doesn't come back out. Because that's a inferno. The one that consumes that drug, it's like they use like crystal. They usually live about a year. Drugs that are made even with rat killer. And that's the other story we're going to tell. And it's not just for the youth, but also what happens to their family, the jails full of young people that got, and the ones that die in the confrontations with police. And we need to inform the young people and let them know that there's other options, other alternatives. Before, you could have perhaps maybe some justification, some excuse that there were no options for study. But now the government is at your service, at the service of the youth. Never again are we going to turn our backs on the youth. And that is why we are going to put them to work in the fields. And we're going to encourage the agricultural activity. And I'm saying that we're having the labor. Now we're saying production for well-being. And we're going to give them help directly. Because I'm also taking the advantage to telling you that we do not give it via an intermediary. Everything is going to get to you directly, personalized. And you'll have a card, and you'll get a card for the people that's someone that's disabled, something for a card for the grants, because you will be able to go collect it directly, and the producers, everything directly, and nothing of somebody that says, oh, I work for this group that and you give me the money and I'll give it to them. He says, no, 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 my little cousin, that's not going to happen no more. My first cousin, no, because it doesn't get to them. To them, it gets lost on the way. And it comes incomplete to them. And they take a cut. And they take a stab at it. No more of that. Directly they're going to get it now. So what did a lot of people do that were working in those? They used to come to the Secretary of Agriculture, and they used to go from the development and well-being, and they would give them the money, and all they had were, they gave them like a little bit of beans that were messed up, and they took most of the money. And they had this truck, a luxury truck, and it's not going to be like that anymore. Everything is going to be done directly. And the elder citizens are elder. They are not babies. Everyone can take care of their own money, and they'll get what they have coming. And we're going to support the producers, and another program that's been developed. It was created by General Cardenas, and it was then removed by someone else. But they're going to be giving them a guaranteed prices for beans, rice, and milk at just prices for the producer. And here I can comment
se va a pagar
at what rate they're going to be paying it.
estos básicos.
These basic food groups. 5,610 for the ton of corn. 5,600 per ton. And here I will clarify one thing. And if the price goes up, no. They'll buy it from the producer. And in the stores, they'll keep selling it at 5 pesos a kilo because they wouldn't produce the producers. And in the case of beans, 14,500 per ton. And rice, 5,700 per ton. And wheat, also. I'm looking for the price because I don't want to give you the wrong price, because then they'll say, hey, you said this price. So let me wait and see what the actual price is, because he can't find the price on there, because I can't tell a lie. He says, are you in a hurry? No, I don't think so. Oh, here it is. $5,790 pesos for the ton of wheat. The one they use for flour. Yeah, 5,790. And in the case of the rice, 6,120 per ton. And in the case of milk, 8 pesos per liter. And those are the guaranteed prices. And I also want to comment that I've been having good relations with work with the governor of Sonora, Claudia Pavlovich, and now also Chole. There's enough of that. Stop fighting. Let's unite each other. And the land is first, and then afterwards everyone can take their party again and refine yourselves, but not so much. But if there's no election, and if we're as responsible of a government, we have to be united. The municipal president, the governor, the president of the republic, everyone join together. Or what do you guys think? Should we continue fighting? Should we continue with the grilla or politics? No, they don't want that. They said that's already passed. Now we have to act in a responsible way, and all of us together. And look here, why is it important to have unity? All of us with the governor of Sonora come to an agreement with a program that will consist in giving year by year the budget to the society of families with people in the schools. And each school will have its own budget. None of this that it has to go through some tribunals or states, and it never gets to you, or it gets there late. Now you're going to get a check, and we're going to give an order for pay from the treasury, from the federation, to the committee of family with parents of every school. And for that reason, there's going to be assemblies of parents of the family, so they can select the committee that will get the budget every year for every school cycle. And that budget will be what the assembly said. And if they need to repair a room, or if they need some kind of mobilization, or they need to paint them, for anything they need, every year they'll have their budget. And I am recommending that the committee, that they be women, because the woman is more honorable than the man. And if you don't like it, go take a flight in the presidential airplane. That's how we're going to be giving the funds. From the 3,500 schools of Sonora, half of the budget of this program will be with the government of the state, and the other part will be the federation. And for that reason, we have to work together so that we'll have do more stuff with the budget to the benefit of the people. And here I'm taking advantage to inform the people of Sonora that we've complied. And we said that if we triumphed, we were going to reform the education and cancel that education reform they had that supposedly was supposed to be reformed, because they are not going to continue insulting. They are not going to continue humiliating the teachers and the because the little that we know we owe to them. No more confronting the people with the teachers. We need to come to agreement to have education plans to better teaching, so that we can have a different concept. We want education that will have liberty, a humanist education, a democratic education, an education that's oriented to take care of the environment, education to get peace and fraternity between human beings. And we are going towards the new, true education. And it makes me very happy to be here with you. And we are going to continue to find each other. I'm going to continue to visit the Yaqui towns and Sonora. I am not going to stay all the time there in the city of Mexico. I am going to be there in general from Monday to Tuesday, because I have to attend to matters internationally, especially the grave problem of insecurity and violence. And I advise every day from 6 to 7 in the morning, when I have a meeting with the people of the security cabinet. And then after that, on Friday, after I finish all of that, meetings, after I finish that security cabinet, then I go visit the people Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to continue to have communication with you all, because democracy is a government for the people and with the people. And that is why we need you. All of us are protagonists for change. And I am going to tell you that I'm very proud of you, because they gave us an elephant that was in very bad condition, rheumatoid and with bad habits. And we're trying, you need to support me to push that elephant. Are you going to help me push that elephant, which is corruption, to gain the transformation of Mexico? Before I finish, I want to give you a hug to the... Oh, they had an accident on the way here. Fortunately, nobody got gravely injured. They had a few lesions, but not grave. But just a hug to all of them for getting scared. And then a hand to those that had this accident. It was the newspaper people, and it made me very happy to be here with you. And the Yaqui people, long live Mexico, long live Mexico, long live Mexico. So he says, get stand on your feet so we can do the national hymn. Somehow I haven't really gotten down this Twitter, your Twitch yet. Oh boy. So the people are really into all of this. It's very nice. They are listening and paying attention to what the president is doing for them. And he shows his heart to them. And they always play the hymn at the end of the videos. It's kind of interesting. The president doesn't always sing it. Sometimes he does, but very seldom. And I believe it's for religious reasons. I think he's really just there to help the people and not so much for the politics of it. He's more of a humanist. Okay, it's done. All right. That was very cool. It's ended. All right, you guys. We're going to stop this stream right here. Talk to you later. Bye.